Okay, we're at this scene again. We've been here, what? 3 times?
I don't know.
Seems like 3 times. Okay.
Oh, I have to do my southern drawl.
I really can't hear any of the, button stuff, but oh well.
I think the sound effects must be messing up.
Must be.
Check the sound settings.
Seems fine. Okay, that must be her.
Hey, horny.
Hey, Adine.
Are you ready to go?
Sure am. I can't wait to see everything the festival has to offer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry if I came across that way, but I don't think we'll actually have much time to take part in the festivities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to spend most of my time at the competition grounds. We'll arrive there early so I can check in and do my warm-up. And I'll still have to stick around after my performance to wait for the award ceremony. I turned busted. Award ceremony? Well, I guess you don't have to wait with me. You could see the rest of the festival if you wanted to.
That's out of the question. I'm here to spend time with you. The festival is not that important.
Besides, we can always see everything on one of those other festival days.
True.
We could even watch the big fireworks show at the end.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Everyone keeps telling me how important it is for me to see.
Hang on. I just realized... Okay. It's not that important, but if you have the opportunity, you should really go.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to attend, but I'd gladly accompany you if I have the chance.
This music is hurting my ears in every single way imaginable.
Is it really loud for you?
No, I just don't like the music.
Right.
Sure, so today's agenda is emotional support. And next time we can take in all aspects of the festival. Sound good?
Perfect.
Alright, let's go then.
It took a while for us to arrive at the festival, which had already begun by this point. The last of the booths that lined the way were still being set up, but dragons of all shapes and sizes were already pouring in.
I see nothing.
Yeah, I don't either. Instead of walking directly through the festival, we stayed outside the established paths, heading towards the stage where the competition was going to be held. Maybe we suffer from tunnel vision.
Yeah, maybe.
Eventually we arrived at a rather large open-air area near the facility that had been roped off. At one corner of the building, a few flyers had already gathered.
Maybe you should wait here while I get my number.
Why?
People might get the wrong idea if you show up in the registration line.
I'll go get my Iron Man suit. I can fly.
Besides, they certainly stare and start asking all kinds of questions.
Alright, I'll just stay here then.
I'll be right back.
After Adine had waddled off to the other flyers, I surveyed my surroundings idly.
Idly.
She just waddles like a penguin?
Penguin?
Penguin.
What's a penguin?
Penguin.
Are you Benedict Cumberbatch?
I hope not.
Play the clip!
Is Pengwings. Pengwing heading home. Pengwings.
Okay.
Beyond the big open-air area, seating had been provided, and I could already see a few people waiting for the competition to start. A few had even gathered on the roof of the building to watch from there. Or, wait, they're committing suicide.
Oh, yep. I'm back.
Is that your number?
Dude, the mouse is drifting in screen. No go.
She held up a piece of cloth with a large number printed on it. A few straps were hanging from it.
What, this? No, of course not. This is G-Spot's number.
Yep, that's what we got her name to be.
Wish we'd found something better.
Well, you took too long. You couldn't decide.
I know.
Of
Too
course.
many good
Sorry
ones.
for the mistake.
I'm one of the last to start, actually.
Are we late?
No, I guess the others just arrived earlier to have more time to get ready.
What do you think about the other competitors?
I've seen most of them fly before. Some are really, really good. Doesn't seem like there are many newcomers here, so right now I'm the odd one out.
Maybe you could use that to your advantage.
How so?
Well, you know more about them than they do about you. Have a promising newcomer there. Having a new... there! Words!
Oh, good old recording at 10 in the morning.
Having a promising newcomer there might throw them off their game.
I'm not so sure about that. After all, it's not as if any of our already choreographed performances would change based on what others do now. Each of us just tries to do their best. Most of them are seasoned flyers. Paprika. Okay. So they already know how to deal with that kind of pressure. If anything, I'm the one who might get nervous and mess up. I have one advantage, though. I'm still pretty young, and this is a sport with a great amount of wear and tear. I mean, if my arm falls off, I'm just put it back right on. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, sure.
There comes a certain point in time when you just can't perform as well anymore as you used to. Many complicated maneuvers can only be performed by younger athletes. The older one can make up for it using their experience and with better execution of easier moves.
Are we describing sex or sport?
Both.
I think it does work for both, yeah.
In the end, a daring newcomer like me could surprise the audience and the judges with something new and unexpected, which is exactly what I plan to do.
How good do you think your chances are?
With a bit of luck, I might even be able to win. This is just a local competition after all. But you know what? I'm just here right now, and performing in front of so many people is a win for me. People will know me, and I'll probably get a mention somewhere in the local paper. I've trained for years, and my application to compete finally got accepted. Now I just have to make the most of it, and I'll be happy. I still can hardly believe that I'm here. This is the moment I've worked so hard for.
And I'll be watching you.
Creepy.
Always watching.
Okay,
even while you sleep.
I'm not comfortable with that. Alright? Okay, keep
Let me
away.
just go get my X-ray goggles as well.
I'm gonna call the police.
I'm with the police. They can't touch me.
Oh fuck. I'm scared now. Oh, stop it, you're making me nervous.
Yeah, should be. Sorry. A lot.
Can you help me with this?
She spread out her wing, and only then did I notice that her shoulder joint was tightly bandaged. What's that for?
Just a training bandage to stabilize my shoulder after a little blunder you witnessed last time. I can't fly with these in the competition though, so I'll have to take it off.
Okay. I opened the bandage, carefully unwrapping her wing. How does it get around the membrane?
I don't know. I'm not questioning anything.
Because, like, I mean, that's... doesn't matter. There you go.
Thanks.
She spread both of her wings, beating them a few times. What? Stop hurting yourself. Why are you beating them?
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focused on the pain. The only thing that's real.
I couldn't help noticing that the previously bandaged wing was sagging noticeably compared to its counterpart, as if it were misaligned. Is it dislocated? Nah, probably not. She seemed to be examining her shoulder, somewhat losting thought when I spoke up.
Losting?
Losting.
Thought?
Losting thought. Are you sure you want to do this?
I think you were lost in translation, pal. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
I can see you're straining without the bandage.
I'm fine, really. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about it. Okay,
if you're fine without the bandage, how come you were wearing it up to just now? Did you need it for practice too? If you couldn't practice without it, maybe you aren't ready to compete without it yet.
Since when are you suddenly an expert on flying? I'm the one who has been doing this for years, not you. This is my dream we're talking about.
Do you want them to see you in this condition and judge you based on that, rather than when you're at your best?
I just have to try, you know?
What if something goes wrong, though? You don't want to be in that position.
If I start making excuses now, maybe I'll never stop. I've always been too nervous or too injured or didn't eat right the day before. I feel bad enough as it is. Right now, I have the chance to do this. If I don't take it, maybe I never will. I'll always just be a server and delivery girl making minimum wage. Is this one chance really too much to ask for?
No, but it doesn't have to be right now. There will always be another year.
But
They've never seen you compete before. If you fly now, they'll judge you based on this performance. You only have one chance of making a first impression, and you know it won't be your best if you fly right now. If it's not good enough, maybe they won't invite you again next year. If you fly now, they won't accept any excuses. But if you tell them you're injured, they might let you fly another time.
But I don't want to wait another year. I want to do it now. I trained so much even with this injury. And you can tell me you tell me I should just let it go?
I just can't help thinking about last time. If you crash like that again, there's no sand here to cushion your fall. It would be much worse.
You think I don't know that? That I'm not already worrying about this more than I ever have it for anything else? I just don't want to make excuses anymore. I don't want to wonder if I'll ever amount to anything more than a waitress. I want to be able to follow my dream, and I don't want to wait another year to find out.
Someone's coming up the stairs.
No, I was messing with something under my desk.
What about Amelie? If something happened to you, how do you think they would explain to her that you just suddenly stopped showing up, huh?
Don't you dare bring her into this. She has nothing to do with it.
Like it or not, what you were doing could have consequences, and there are others besides you who will be affected if something goes wrong.
And you know what? I will fly and do the best damn job I've ever done. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Before I could reply, she angrily stomped off towards the building, where by now a number of contestants had arrived. While I had failed to convince her, at least I could say that I had tried my hardest to stop her. I asked myself whether I even wanted to watch the competition at that point. It was possible that she'd do even better than expected, but in my experience was any indication her performance would not turn out well. In the end, I decided to stay and watch from the sidelines. I didn't want to join the rest of the audience, as I was sure it would get me unwanted attention. Stop touching my ass. Stupid dragons. After the competition started, I lost myself in thought, thinking over the conversation I had with Adine, while watching the other contestants half-heartedly. Adine had been right. Some of them really were very good, but based on what I had seen at her practice session, she did have a shot at winning if everything went well for her.
This is like when people do those flying competitions over here with planes.
Well, like Red Arrows. I haven't seen Red Arrows perform in years and years.
I haven't seen any. I just know that they exist.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Even though my rational mind doubted that would happen, for her own sake I hoped it would. One by one, the contestants showed off their skills in a variety of moves, usually followed by the applause of the audience. Eventually, it was time for Adine's turn. What about the four-legged ones? How do they applaud? They click. Okay.
Like fucking morons.
Next on the stage is number 11, a promising newcomer who will show her skills to the public here for the very first time in a debut performance. Please welcome G-Spot. There was an excited bout of clapping. The audience was always curious to see a newcomer on the stage.
Oh, we should have called her the Flying Tatas.
However, after a few seconds passed, Adine still hadn't emerged. An awkward silence set in as the audience's applause stopped, and everyone sat anxiously waiting for her to show up. She never did. After half a minute or so had passed, the announcer's voice once more echoed across the area. My apologies, it looks like number 11 will not be flying today. Next up is number 12, a certain veteran you may know for his somewhat unusual technique. In the bedroom.
He's a slut.
Before I could even ask myself what had happened, I saw Adine walking out of the building and coming towards me. With a knife. Oh shit.
I'm gonna die.
Adine! What did you do?
Let's just go somewhere else.
Okay. Wow, it got dark quick. We walked away from the festival and sat down under a tree in the outskirts of town. As the competition was already nearly over, the darkness had already set in.
Here should be good.
Now time to murder you.
Hmm.
So, what made you reconsider?
You were right with everything you said. When I was inside and had a bit of time to cool off, I realized I didn't want to do it like this, even if I have to wait another year.
How do you feel now?
I know it was the right thing to do, but I can't help thinking that I just came to so close that I could have done it if it hadn't been for that stupid accident.
You'll have another
reading at 10 in the morning.
You'll have another chance, I promise.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Ellipsis.
Hey, Horny, look at the sky. Can you see that light? The one that looks a bit brighter than all the others?
Yeah, that's impending doom.
Dude, the mouse is in this...
I looked up and saw many celestial bodies lighting up the sky. One of them was noticeably brighter than all the other stars. Yeah.
I usually practice in the evening and stay until it's dark so I can see the stars pretty often. I noticed something about that one. It moves.
How does it move? It looks pretty stationary to me.
You won't notice it just by looking at it. But over the last couple of weeks I have noticed that it has changed position when comparing it to the other stars.
Can't be a star then. Stars don't move.
They have an office in one of the cities that watches these kinds of things. I called them about it a while ago.
What did they say?
It's just an asteroid passing by. It's even been on the news a few times.
That makes it sound pretty important.
Yeah, it's a big one apparently. Otherwise we wouldn't even be able to see it without a telescope.
Yeah, big one's a bit of an understatement. That asteroid was huge.
Yes, it wiped out life.
The dinosaurs.
Well, most. Until some of them managed to survive and then become
The small
birds.
ones survived.
And
the ones that had already kind of started.
And then they became birds.
Yeah.
Yes. Burp.
Which means they probably don't have birds in this time of theirs.
Nope.
Although they have crickets, apparently.
Indeed.
Do they think it's dangerous?
Why would it be?
I don't know. Could hit the moon or something like that.
They assured me it's not going to happen. They say calculating the paths of celestial bodies is very complicated science, and not really an exact one. They know it's not going to hit the moon, but they're watching it to make sure it passes safely.
Not that just watching it would make a difference.
They don't really know anything more. Apparently, they're also really underfunded. The council doesn't see the need to waste people's time and money to look into the sky all day.
That's strange, don't you think?
It used to be a pretty important job, but over time the funding got less and less until only this token office in our biggest city was left.
Is that a drill?
That or a lawnmower. Keep going.
I see.
Such a shame, since the whole institution was based on our creation story.
In what way?
In one of the stories, our creator told us to watch the skies.
Oh, of course she would.
Yes.
How religious are you, really?
What exactly do you mean?
Well, dragons have these myths about humans. How many of them do you actually believe are true?
Oh, I believe all of it. I just love reading all the stories, theories, and all that.
Why is that?
'Cause I'm a kook. Well, I think there's a lot we can learn from it. Much of our society is based on it, including our laws and traditions.
I see. Oh, sorry. I blacked out there.
Stop blacking out, you weirdo. You keep doing that. Not even when recording, you just stare at your computer screen and then don't respond at all. It's a bit weird.
Can I ask you a question?
That drill's loud. Sure, go ahead.
What would you think if I told you that I am a time traveler from the future?
Hey, don't joke about something like that.
Why not?
Because I'd believe you. Besides, if you were really a time traveler, I think you'd come from the past, like the time when we were created.
Really? Why is that?
Because that's the only time in our history when we know humans ever were here. Have ever been here. If you came from the future, that would mean humans were to show up at some point in our future history, and I'm not sure how or why that would happen.
Wouldn't that mean I was your creator?
Well, not necessarily. There could have been other humans around, right?
Your myths only mention one, though.
Yeah, but people speculate, trying to find explanations for those old myths. Maybe there were more humans around, and they just died, or their creation rebelled and killed them. Others say they fled across the ocean. We just don't know.
So are they all on one big continent? I don't think Pangea was still a thing at the dinosaur age.
I don't know.
Fairly certain they'd broken up a bit. I'll have to look into it. What do you think?
I don't know. I like reading about all the theories and trying to piece the puzzle together myself. That's why I want to visit the underground building we found. Some of the theories are quite out there.
Like what?
For example, one says that humans are really aliens who came from a different planet. They created us for some reason and they just vanished again.
Well, that one ain't true. What would they do that for?
Maybe it's an experiment and they're testing us. Some say they're always watching us from up there somewhere with a giant mothership. And then maybe one day they'll return when we're ready to join them. So kind of like Prometheus, except the aliens in Prometheus, the engineers, decided that they fucked up and wanted to destroy humanity instead.
Yay!
And they failed.
That makes so much sense.
And then there was a dumb Michael Fassbender robot, and Prometheus was a terrible film.
Yep.
I didn't like Alien Covenant either, but that's a different thing. Anyway.
That is pretty out there, I'll say.
Told you so. What about the humanity you come from, though? Why don't you tell me more about your world?
I don't like talking about that. It's much prettier here.
I don't believe you.
It's the truth.
I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. I'd love to visit your world.
And get choked by the radioactive dust in the air. I don't think it would be a good idea to visit us right now.
Why not?
Do you know what our world is like? Are there any rumors about that?
Not really. There hasn't been much speculation about that yet. Of course, we're curious, though. Next time we want to send one of our ambassadors into your world. Make it even and all that.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Don't be so negative.
I'm sorry, it's not up to me to determine the best course of action. I'm just a lowly ambassador, after all.
Not quite as lowly as a waitress with nothing more than high aspirations. Maybe it's time for me to go home.
I would walk you, but I guess you'd be faster if you flew.
Nah, I'd rather not without the bandage.
You serious? You were gonna do your performance like that?
I know, I shouldn't have tried. You don't want to bring that up again.
I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I think you made the right decision in the end.
Thank you.
Shall we go then?
Sure. Oh, God.
there we are.
Do you want to come in for a bit? Would be a shame for you to have to come all this way for nothing.
Sure.
The music, stop it, music.
She opened the door, wiping her feet on the doormat before she went inside. Claws ruined it.
Yep. Can I offer you something to drink, maybe?
No, thanks. I'm good.
How about some TV?
That could be interesting. I haven't watched TV in ages, and I don't have one in the apartment.
Well, you're right. You got a pretty decent apartment, but they didn't provide a TV. I wonder why.
Maybe they wanted to avoid culture shock or something like that.
You got a shelf full of books, though. Why would books be fine, but not TV?
Because this game's all about reading, not watching.
Yep.
I suppose when they give me books, they know what I'm going to read, but on TV they can't really regulate the content I'm going to see. At least if TV works the same way as ours used to.
That's true. Maybe they just thought your time would be better spent elsewhere.
I guess. If they didn't want me to watch TV, they certainly never told me.
Actually, there's a series on right now that could be pretty interesting to you.
What is it?
Well, I'm not going to tell you. Do you want me to put it on or not? It's
Sure,
gonna
let's
be
do it.
some stupid romance tween thing.
Adine turned on the TV and a brief flicker appeared on the screen before it was filled with the image of a house from the outside. There was a murder going on in the interior.
Great.
Well, that doesn't look unusual.
Just wait a bit.
The camera cut to the inside of the home, while the chattering of small talk could be heard. Then someone got stabbed and there was a scream. Then some figures entered the living room on the screen. They were
Close enough.
They were grotesque, malformed creatures with rather cartoony proportions, covered in odd lumps all over their body. They all shared the same odd skin tone. It was clear to me that these figures were played by actors in obviously fake, bulky costumes. They reminded me of mascots. What are those?
Humans.
Humans.
That's the name of the series. It's a typical sitcom about a contemporary family as we would expect it. But the twist is that everyone is human.
And then I realised why I hadn't been able to identify the creatures on the screen as humans. They were all naked. Right. Since the dragon's concept of clothing was different, they'd applied their own principles when creating this series. It was quite bizarre to see a typical family sitcom where all the characters were in obviously fake costumes and also happened to be naked. Well, that's an interesting
But if they don't
show.
know what humans look like and they're dragons, then their costumes would look pretty horrifying.
Yep. Do you like it?
It's one of my favorites. Well, as a sitcom, it manages to address serious and deep issues fairly often, which I don't think would be as effective if we weren't watching them through the lens of this alternate reality. Okay. This one isn't a bad episode, but it's already nearly over.
I guess there's no point in just watching the ending.
True.
By this point, the credits were already rolling, and Adine turned off the TV again.
What a fruitful endeavor. Yay! What do you think?
Let's just say that if a human looking like that suddenly showed up in our world, people would probably run away screaming.
They don't look that bad.
Sure, it's impressive if we consider what they had to work with, though there's a few things they got wrong.
The women don't have penises. Like what?
For one, humans mostly wear clothing, and secondly, we don't have tails.
Those are just small details.
Oh
The series
yeah,
is still good,
having
though.
a tail is a small detail.
To be fair, they don't have non-tailed people.
True. Is it popular?
For sure, many people love it.
I see. I hope they
called
aren't too scared of me
morons.
when they see how different I am, though.
I didn't run away screaming when I first met you, did I?
True. But everyone else did. No, they didn't.
Now that you're already here, there's something you could help me with.
What is it?
I dropped the soap. No. Well, it'd be a huge favor to ask, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Just say it. The worst I can do is say no.
Oh god, not no. How should I say this? It's about my shower. Close enough. She's gonna drop the soap. I get pretty dirty from practice sometimes, especially from the bad landings, and recently the detachable shower head broke. That usually wouldn't be much of a problem, but with this injury I can't quite reach a few places on my own. Like, my weird areas where I shouldn't really be looking. It's already not ideal having to manage everything with my wings, but now it's even harder.
You want me to scrub your back?
I guess you could put it that way. Told you it was embarrassing. Well, how else are we gonna do gross things?
Indeed.
Dear God, I'm still traumatized from the last time. Jesus.
Don't worry about it. I'm glad to help.
Sure you are. Thanks. This way.
I followed her, entering
We're not gonna
the
get a picture of this, are we?
rather large bathroom. This shower is huge. I wouldn't mind having one of these.
This isn't just your regular dragon-sized shower. It's made specifically for a fly like me. We need enough room to stretch our wings.
Just think of the possibilities. No.
Pants party? Naked pants party.
She took off her goggles and stepped into the roomy walk-in
Look,
shower.
I'm practically naked now.
After
without my
pressing
goggles.
a button on the wall, water started flowing from the shower head mounted on the wall. She moved around a bit, stretching this and that way in order to cover her whole body in the water.
This is awkward.
Soon afterwards, she pressed the button on the wall again and the water flow stopped.
This is reminding me of the first friggin' draft of your book. The opening bit. Dear God.
Oh yeah, when my book was shit.
Yes, when your book was shit.
Yep. Then I rewrote it.
Yeah,
Twice.
and they're still doing slight tweaks.
Yeah, but only slight tweaks.
Yes.
She turned to show me her back, wings splayed.
Like my back.
Oh, we do get a picture.
Oh God. I don't need this. Why the fuck is her tail a moon?
It's a bit... That does not look quite right. I think the proportions are off there.
Her face is irking me in every way.
Yeah,
I don't-
it looks weird.
Her body doesn't look like it could hold her up. Soap and sponge should be right there.
I took a sponge, it wasn't unlike the
Oh,
others.
I get it. She deflated. Ah.
Unlike the ones I knew from back home, and added some soap from a rather big bowl. It seemed to me that each species had their own challenges that needed to be overcome when it came to daily tasks like this one, emphasized by all the different design choices when it came to everyday items.
You can start with the wings and work your way down from there.
Sure thing.
Down.
I couldn't help making a joke to ease the tension a bit when I put the sponge on her muzzle.
Read!
Hey, looks like you got something here. Oh wait, that's just your stripes.
Hey, stop that!
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Good job. Now you got soap on my nose. In my nose.
I started scrubbing her wings. Now that I could see them up close and fully extended, I found them to be quite impressive.
Look at these quickly drawn markings. Wow! You know, I actually tried to do that before.
What do you mean?
Washing off those stripes.
Why?
Well, I was just a child back then. You know how kids are. They make fun of everything, though. I don't know if the human children are the same way.
Oh, they fucking are.
Children are horrible.
Children are shitty.
Yeah.
They are, trust me.
They're also overly sensitive. I know that. I was one of those kids. I was an overly sensitive kid. I got bullied a lot. Well, I got teased a lot, and I took it more than it needed to be. You know. Don't press too hard there. That's the injured shoulder.
I'll be careful.
This is just awkward as shit.
Eventually, I reached her lower back.
I don't need this!
And while I was watching a particular spot on her left side, I could see her leg twitching slightly. Are you ticklish there?
I guess you noticed.
What happens if I do this?
No.
I repeated my ministrations, moving the sponge in circles over that particular spot.
Hey, stop that.
She started
No.
squirming and suddenly her tail
Fuck.
whacked around and hit me in the face, causing me to stumble and fall over backwards.
Are you okay?
I guess I deserved that.
Well, you tickle a dragon, you get the...
Tail, apparently. The forked tip of her tail was still hovering inches in front of my face. Its peculiar shape reminded me of something, and I couldn't help but grab it and hold it like a telephone. Hello? Hello?
What are you doing?
I think your phone isn't working.
Stop being silly.
Alright. I'm nearly done anyway. I resumed my scrubbing. By now only her tail was left. Not being entirely sure about my technique, I moved the sponge over the tail's whole length in small circles. When I was nearly done, I noticed a low rumble emanating from her, reminding me of what an oversized cat's purr might sound like. So, tiger? Do tigers purr?
No, they're too big to purr.
Are you purring? Suddenly her expression changed as she looked over her shoulder. Doesn't seem to have changed.
Oh, are you done? You should take a step back if you don't want to get hit by the water. Oh, it's like a dog then.
After I left the shower again, she pressed a button on the wall and the water resumed once more. She only stood under it briefly and moved around a bit until the water completely washed off the suds. When she turned off the water again, I realised that it didn't cling to her much at all. After she shook herself a bit, she stepped out again, nearly dry.
How convenient. Thanks, I really needed that.
You're welcome.
It's probably getting late for you, and I already held you up this long.
Don't worry about it. Oh, it's already dark outside. It was when you came here!
Yes. I guess it took longer than I thought.
I'm not supposed to go outside this late. Why not?
Because I'm about to get a I'm a little precious little baby girl. You can't fucking pepper spray a son of a bitch in the face. You're right. We were advised by the police to stay inside after nightfall because of everything that's going on. The murders! Oh yeah.
For me, this is even more important. We don't know if there's anyone out there who might want to target me.
I suppose you just have to spend the night here then.
I guess so.
I added a word there. I didn't need to do that. End scene.
Yep. Well, might as well save again.
So many saves.
Get some well-deserved rest.
Indeed.
In the end, we've already read this once before, and it's only one line.